Good morning, good morning. My name is Jonathan Butler, owner of Crystal Clear Automotive, coming to do a little automotive educational video that hopefully could help save somebody some real money. I'm gonna help save somebody some real money. It might cost you a little more money up front, but it's gonna save you a lot of money on the back end. So if you can, share this video and let's get this out here. And we talking about the foreign cars today. You know, I love to work on the foreign cars, the Mercedes owners, the BMW owners, the Audi owners, the Volvo owners, the Aston Martin owners, everybody that got some. Really kind of apply to a lot of vehicles, but I'm this specifically for you European people. Not so much the Japanese car, but the European car. This is this for y'all. And if you would, if you could, take a moment, press the like button, and press the share button and push this video out here. We finna do something real educational. If you are a service advisor for a dealership that does domestic or Japanese work, and you have an occasional European car come in, you might want to use this video for training purposes, for real. And it comes from somebody that has a lot of ALC certification, have been in the industry over 25 years. I'm finna let you in on something because it's a reason why these engines keep failing, man. And it's a reason why these engines keep burning oil and blue smoke and doing a lot of stuff going on. And it's simply because of the lack of education on the customer part, because they're really trying to save. And when they go places to get their oil changes, the people there may not be properly educated on the nuances of just simply changing the oil in a European car. Once again, my name is Jonathan. If you would, press the like button and share this video. Click the share button. I'm finna show y'all something that I promise you, this has caused so many people to let some really good cars go back, trade them out, leave them at the dealership. They say it need a motor. It didn't need a motor. It didn't. And you know, I kind of rag on the oil change places. I'm like, if you bought a Benz, why would you go to a place that charge $50 for an oil change? The oil filter costs $50 for the car. And I'm finna show you why going to places, and I'm gonna pick on the dealership this time because I'm doing this video at my house and not my customer's house yesterday, because I don't want to put that customer in this video. I don't want to put their vehicle. I don't want to get no clues to where the work was done. I'm in a whole nother town. I'm not even where the work was done at, so I'm not giving no clues to where the work got done at. But I say this, just for you, I'm gonna say this much. If they sell Toyotas, or if they sell GM, or if they sell Ford, what will make you think they will be qualified to work on your Mercedes, your Audi, your Volvo, any of your German stuff, British stuff, Jaguars, any of that? I understand a Ford and a Jaguar similar. You take that over there and you have the best of luck, because the service and procedure is not the same, and the facility not the same, the tools not the same. Okay, anyway, that's another rabbit hole. All right, let's turn the camera around and we're gonna look at a specimen today. And ain't nothing special about this motor. This factory's got a tune, but at the same time, this is what you will see if you open the hood of your average Mercedes E-Class, okay? AMG model, okay. All right, what we talking about today is the oil change on this car. Oh, let me clean my lens, y'all. Let me flip that back around. I gotta clean my lens. That is not presentable. That's not professional. And that's not what we're gonna see today. We ain't doing that. Let me clean my lens, y'all. Please excuse me. That's so wrong. I think my sister got put up a thing about people. Y'all clean y'all lenses, man. Clean your lenses. Now share this video. Okay. Now, I don't even got to show the car to explain this. And it's going to make perfect sense to a lot of people, a lot of y'all. Okay. If you look in the book, the service manual, if you Google the service manual for, let's just say, this particular car, the service manual will say that this car takes whatever filter it's supposed to take from Mercedes, and that it holds 8 quarts of oil. The capacity for the system of the car is 8 quarts of oil. Now I'm gonna tell you where you run into a problem at. This is where the procedure come in, and things ain't the same if you don't go to either a person like me that know the procedure or a place that is familiar with that brand of vehicle. Now, people be like, man, drain the oil, put some more oil in it, man, put 8 quart back in it, change the filter, and you good to go. Change the light and go on about your business. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in your life dealing with these European cars. Now, I'm going to say why. First of all, we don't drain no oil. I tell y'all that all the time. We do not jack these Mercedes and these Audis and these BMWs up. We don't drain no oil. First of all, foremost. Why we don't drain no oil? Because Mercedes, unless you get a particular service done, and put a caveat on that, they don't drain all that oil because they don't drain it. They vacuum the oil out of the car. And as they vacuum out the oil that's coming out the engine, it is captured in a cylinder that is graduated, that has measurements on the side of it. Now the cylinder, hold on, I got one. You know I got one. Hold on, do we have the keys? I think I got the keys out here. I ain't filibustering or nothing. There is a container that you would catch the oil, and at that point, where are my keys? That is so crazy. Hold on, y'all. You'll catch the oil, and measure it so you can see how much oil came out the vehicle. And 2, you don't drain the oil simply because the oil plug has a crush washer that is a seal, that if you break the seal, you need to put another bolt in there. That's a brand new bolt that Mercedes want to sell you for about $45. Now this is a vacuum pump. Now, the purpose of that, like some people be like, well, just they'll put another wash on and they drain it from the bottom, no problem. The purpose of pulling it out the top and catching it in a container is to be able to measure what you pulled out. Remember, I told y'all, this car hold 8 quarts of oil, right? The whole system, the capacity of the car, the book said 8 quarts. If I drain all the oil out and put 8 quarts back in there, Jonathan, I change the oil. Everything is correct. That is so wrong. That's wrong. It's really wrong. The reason we catch that oil like that out of all these foreign cars and we pull it out the top and we see what we pulled out is because the system on these vehicles, indeed, this system does hold 8 quarts of oil. But the pan don't hold 8 quarts of oil. The pan, you'll probably pull 6.8, 7 quarts, something like that out of it. The rest of that oil is in the motor, in the oil cooler, and these cars in the front usually have an auxiliary oil cooler, especially if you got an AMG. You got several auxiliary coolers, transmission, and all that stuff counts for fluid capacity. So that's about a quart of oil that did not fall out of the bottom of that car. So what ends up happening is, y'all can guess this, you drop 6.5, 7 quarts out of this vehicle, but you thought you dropped 8. And then you turn around and put 8 back in there, and now you got 9 and some change. Well, at the point of having 9 to 10 quarts in this engine, you will have overfilled this engine. And what's going to happen is going to start to aerate the oil. And the oil is going to get trapped in the top of the engine, in the heads. And it's going to oversaturate your valve seals. And you will eventually start to blow blue smoke. And if you have a turbocharger over here and your drain back ends up being lower than the level of oil that you have overfilled, it won't drain properly. And it will also induce the turbo seals to release oil and start smoking blue at the pipe. The motor ain't gone. They just put too much oil in. And this happens every time. If they draining it from the bottom and they ain't catching it and they ain't measuring it, they looking in the book, it say 8 quarts. They put 8 quarts in it. Common sense. That shit's so wrong, y'all. It's wrong. It done took some good ones down. It done took some real good engine down. Took some real good engine down and told some folk mouth out on the pocketbook side. Now, for real, this a real thing. Now, second thing, and it happened to my customer. We pulled 1.25 quarts out of, nope, I'm lying. We pulled 1 3/4 of a quart out of that Mercedes, which it was over full. And then I started to look at the color of the oil and noticed that they had put bulk oil in the car, man. Dealership, if they don't service your car particularly, you might want to make sure that oil is coming out of some bottles and not out of that big barrel, not out of a pump that looks like it come out the gas station. You don't want that oil. Most time that recycle oil, that oil looked substantially darker than it should have, and it was substantially thicker than it should have been. It was hard to suck that oil out that car, y'all. And the customer, I love my customer because I like educating my customers. So I like customers that kick it with me and they hang. And it was a real cool customer. I love her to death. She's a very nice lady. And guess what? She sat there and watched me sit there with that vacuum pump for 20 minutes. And once you build a vacuum on it, you just walk away from it and it sucks the oil out of the car. It does it on its own. But if the oil is kind of thick, it goes slow. And it took about 15 minutes to suck that oil, that 2 quarts of oil, 1 3/4 out of that car, which is kind of indicative of something that ain't 0 W40, man. Come on, y'all. If anybody know what oil and anything about oil, you know 0 W40 is basically sewing machine oil. It's serious. It's seriously thin. So that was an indication that the wrong oil had been used. And I looked at the invoice that they gave her, and they charged her $6 a quart for the oil that they used. And I know dealerships do nothing at a loss. And they charged her $6 a quart for $2, $3 quart bulk, possibly recycled oil. And the oil that goes in this car costs $13.99 a quart. And people don't understand why, because it's an extended oil change interval. And once again, my name is Jonathan. And if you would, press the like button, share this video, because this video really going to help some people. Like, really call me, call somebody that understands these vehicles in an intricate type of way. Or either just go to the professional, not the dealership, to say, oh, they are the professional. Yeah, at what they service. Give them their props for what they do. Let Toyota service their Toyotas and their Lexus. Let them do that. Let GM service. They don't take your Benz over there and think you're going to get Mercedes level service just because they are professional. And it's real. So the first part of this video was the overfill. The fact that the book says this car takes 8 quarts of oil. But if you drain it from the bottom, which is against the service procedure of Mercedes, we vacuum it from the top, which I showed you the vacuum pump earlier. We vacuum it from the top. If you don't vacuum it from the top and you don't measure what you caught and you just add 8 quarts of oil to this engine, it will probably be about 1.25 quarts over, which will impede the draining of the turbochargers and also aerate the oil, send more oil to the top end, which it will remain there, and cause you to probably lose some valve stem seals if you do it for too long. And I know it'll do them turbo seals, it'll blow the turbos, and cause the whole lot of BMW motors go down. I promise to God. I promise y'all. All them BMW motors that were barbecuing, them M40, M54s, that 4.4, all the motor wasn't bad. No, they weren't. All the motor needed some valve steel seal. They needed them. But why they go out so bad? Because they were bathing their oil. A lot of people were scared to go back to the dealership and get the real oil change, so they went and let somebody drop the oil out of the bottom, and they put 10 quarts in the car, and then they were riding around with 12 quarts of oil and wonder why it burned their oil. It was overfilled. But anyway, all right, the next thing that is often cheated and overlooked, but they'll never cheat your bill. They will never cheat your bill. They charge my customer $49, no, I'm telling the story, $46 and some change for an oil filter. Remember I told you at the beginning of the video, it's a reason why that Mercedes oil filter costs $50. So hey, you see a $50 oil filter on your bill, you like, I got a grown man of a filter. Hey, they might not be the Mercedes people, but they put a bad filter. Man, that filter $50. They put a $50 filter on my car. Congratulations, you got screwed. You got screwed. And I was pissed because the customer, nice lady, she's an older lady, and the technicians are doing what they can do. The service advisor is advising on what parts to be ordered from the parts store. That's why I said it might be a education video for some of you service advisors. While you sending off for these parts and stuff, and you trying to make these margins look what they want to look like, I'm really kind of disappointed in this one in particular, because I know they get a great price on these filters, and they still could have made money at the price that they sold her that filter at, but they went real below average on this filter. Now I'm gonna tell you why the filter is so important on this car. Most of your foreign vehicles, most of your European cars, most of your Audis, Porsche, BMW, Land Rover, they gonna have something in there that's gonna make you want to buy that car at the dealership. They gonna tell you, boy, you know you ain't gotta change that oil but every 10,000 miles, or either once a year, depending on how much you drive. If you don't drive that much, it come in once a year. Oil change might be $300-400, but you ain't gonna do it but once a year, every 10,000 miles, which is a great oil change interval. But it's a way that they're able to offer that by using these premium parts. Now, the difference between a normal oil filter and a MANN, M-A-N-N, that's for you service tech guys. It's made by MANN. These the people that actually make the Mercedes filter. Don't ask me how I know. I've been doing it too long. It's a company called MANN. The emblem is green and yellow, so if it ain't a green and yellow box, it ain't a MANN filter. M-A-N-N. Find your part number for these Mercedes. Start stocking this stuff, because this right here costs you a motor for real. This the truth. Now, the difference between a Mercedes filter and your average off-the-shelf filter that fits the Mercedes, but it ain't a Mercedes filter or a MANN filter or a filter of this caliber. Mobil 1 makes a great filter too. If you got a substitute, get the Mobil 1 extended life filter. It is constructed the way I'm about to tell y'all. Now, share this video and like it. Now, even if you want to do home oil change, the Mobil 1 filter, get it. It's at the power store. They got it. The normal oil filter is constructed of paper. Every oil filter since the very beginning has been constructed of some kind of paper. In the last 20 to 30 years, the oil change intervals have went up. The technology on oil had went up. Most oil is not even real oil, it's synthetic, fully synthetic oil. That means if you got fully synthetic hair, you know that plastic, ain't no real hair involved. Same thing with oil, it all still applied. They telling you, they effing you in your face. But it works good, it don't burn. So it keep the motor clean. So it do what it's supposed to do. That's one part of it. But since that oil lasts so long, they was like, we need a filter that can keep up with that oil. So oil usually runs about 200, 220 degrees in your engine. And the average car oil change interval is about 3,000 to 5,000 miles. And with a paper filter, at 220 degree hot oil running through it, it's encased in a can most of the time. It's not going to come apart, but it will clog up. And you need to change it on time. But you can kind of go over a little bit because, you know, it's encapsulated. Well, these filters are not encapsulated. It's just a big piece of paper, cotton ball, whatever you want to call it, cartridge filter that goes into the housing. Okay, that's one part of the equation you got to keep in mind. So this filter is made out of cotton gauze, just like towels, if you will, cotton towels. And these towels are wrapped around each other and layered, and the oil passes through this cotton for those 10,000 miles at 200 and some degrees. And a towel is going to be a towel. It's going to be a towel. It's going to be a towel. It's not going to break up. What do you think happens to a piece of paper or cardboard if you soak it in 200 degree oil for 10,000 miles or 1 year? What it gonna start doing? It's gonna start dissolving, breaking up, and getting sucked into the motor and actually ingested into the oiling system of the engine. You're gonna have paper particles floating around, going through your motor, clogging up stuff that don't need to be clogged up, and you're gonna buy a motor. That paper filter not gonna last 10,000 miles, man. I'm telling you the real God. If I put an invoice together for a customer and they got a $47 filter on, you damn best believe it's gonna be the right filter. What did they put on there? We looked on the invoice. We saw part numbers and associated literature about what they put on there, and we ran the part number, and indeed, they put a $3.85 Conquest paper filter in this customer car and charge her $46. And I went on the internet and saw that $3 price. They were, oh, no, you cheating because that's the internet price. No, guess what? If the internet price was cheaper than the dealership could actually get it from the parts store and they didn't have an agreement like they do, the dealership will order in bulk off the internet and just have it on the shelf. Trust me. They getting it for $3 to $5. $3 to $5. And they ain't even paying for it right then. They putting it on 30-day bill, so they'll pay for that $3 to $5 filter next month after they to flip your $45 1,000 times. But that, in a nutshell, are two of the main causes of engine failure when you're dealing with places that don't specialize in what you have. And it's very, very important. It's crucial. It's critical that you take the time and evaluate your investment. Your vehicle is your investment. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? My name is Jonathan. I own a Crystal Clear Automotive, my bad. And I'm a mobile technician. I don't say mobile mechanic too much, but I'm a mobile technician. I'm available by appointment only. And I specialize in European cars, but we do domestic and foreign, all type of vehicles. But it's just a lot of miseducation that goes with an oil change being just an oil change, and an oil filter just being an oil filter. And things that get overlooked because of lack of knowledge. The customer don't know this. And it's crazy because as a customer, you trust professionals, and when you pull up to these big buildings, they got these big signs on the wall, and they do service and maintenance. You expect them, if they take your car into service and start a process of charging you money, don't you think they should know something about the car they finna work on? I'm just saying. Like, if somebody pull up right now in a Ferrari, I got a computer that can test a Ferrari. If I get in there and I realize them Italians doing something in here, in this Ferrari, that I have yet to ever see in my life, I don't know how this system works. It's a positive ground type electrical system. It's some stuff that really ain't redundant like it's supposed to be. Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, nobody don't do it like this. I ain't never seen it before. Why would I create a position and put myself and say I'm finna fix anything? It's time for me to tell these customers, hey man, this beyond the scope of my knowledge. There's something I can't do. Now, I ain't saying it can't be done, but it's something I can't do. And let them folk go on about their business instead of setting these cars up for failure. For real. Now, this ain't happening to my car. Y'all know I'm doing all my own service. Also, one big indication that you might not be dealing with some people that perhaps know anything about your vehicle. If you get your car back after the oil change is done, particularly on a Mercedes, because you went in because the service light came on and it might have said perhaps service B. I'm gonna give y'all an education on the service B, y'all. They're real. If you've been taking your car somewhere beside Mercedes, and this time your Mercedes says service B, either. Ain't no either. Cop, call and make your appointment at Mercedes. Because I'm going to explain what Service B entails. Service B entails the full oil change as normal stuff that they're going to do. And Service A. Service A is going to be basically a full multi-point inspection, brakes, tires, rotors. They're going to put it up in the air. They're going to check everything. They're going to possibly replace the air filters when need be. Oil change, check all the fluid, top anything off that need to be topped. That's Service A. You're going to be out about $300-$400. Boom. It's nothing quick. Service B, on the other hand, if you see Service B is going to entail everything that goes with Service A. But by the time Service B comes, we're probably going to be in the brake pad time. Probably going to be, couple of items, just little stuff. But what Service B really entails is at 62,500 miles in some cases at 72,500 miles. The computer knows that lifetime transmission fluid that they ain't got no dipstick for, and they told you never got to worry about it, and you ain't got time. It's time to change it. I hope I just blessed somebody right there. It's time to change it. That lifetime transmission fluid, that's... Okay, my bad. So, can y'all see me? I'm kind of back. I was off. My signal was messed up. Okay, all right. So, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a lot of misinformation have happened that'll cause a whole lot of vehicles to just really go down. And it was through no fault of the customer. It was more so through fault of the technician and the facility for not being educated on what they chose to work on. In certain places, if you pull up with a Mercedes to get an oil change at a certain Toyota or a certain Lexus place, something like that, or BMW place, they probably gonna point you in the direction of the Mercedes people, as they should. But I'm telling you, if you go into a place, and I ain't talking about the oil change place, stop taking these to the oil change place. We talking about the dealership now. If you go to the dealership and they put their car on a lift and drop the oil out the bottom, and it fall into a pan, a bucket, a tank, whatever, that can't be readily measured, wasn't empty when they started, they can't even see the inside, they don't know what just drained out the engine. They gonna go look in the book, they gonna say it take 8 quarts of oil, and they gonna put 8 quarts of oil in here. If you draining it at home, you can drain it. You ain't got to measure. But don't just throw 8 in there. Throw 6.5 in there. Let it sit. Check it. Crank it up. Let it run. Check it. Put the other quart in there. Check it. Don't overfill these cars, man. Now back to Service B. I was on Service B. Now Service B is going to entail everything Service A did, but at Service B time, it's time to change that transmission fluid. Now, I don't want to say all of them because there's always exceptions, but the majority of transmissions in most foreign vehicles and a lot of domestic vehicles, a whole lot of older Chrysler vehicles, a whole lot of Dodge vehicles, 5, 6, 8 speeds, stuff like that, the old transmission don't have a dipstick. Some of them do though. But in the case of a transmission that doesn't have a dipstick and it has quote unquote lifetime fluid in it, when it's time to change that lifetime fluid, this is what has to be done on the Mercedes. And I'm going to tell you why most people can't do this job. And I tell the customer, if it's time for Service B, I need y'all to go make an appointment. This vehicle has to be off the ground, level, in service mode. The transmission fluid temperature, not the engine temperature, not the coolant temperature, the transmission fluid temperature, which you read on the scanner, Or you can see it on the dashboard in this one because we got a lot of gauges on the AMG. But it has to come up to 120 degrees. While you got it in the air and it's completely level, you go under the car and there is a bolt that seems like it doesn't hold nothing. It's on the side of the transmission, just a bolt right there. It's not really holding anything. It's a plug. Take the plug out. Now, at this point in time, this is how you check the fluid. You add fluid until fluid comes out of this hole. But if you're changing the fluid, you're going to take note of the level of that fluid. You're going to proceed to drain the fluid from the pan and catch it so you can measure it. Super important. Catch it so you can measure it. And upon catching it and measuring it, you're going to change the filter, drop the pan, change the filter, do everything as normal. You're going to put that exact amount, I'm talking about that exact amount of fluid back in there. But because of the transfer, you clean some out the pan, it's not going to be the exact amount of fluid, right? So how do you check it? When you get the fluid back up almost to the level and bring the temperature of the operating fluid back to 120 degrees and you fill up what they say you should put in there, exactly what came out, at that point in time, when you take that little plug off the side of the transmission, the fluid at 120 degrees, well, at 100 degrees, will be sitting right under that hole in that plug where you just took the bolt out. Right under that hole. It'll be sitting there. And at 120 degrees, the fluid will expand and grow and run out that hole. You know it's full. Now, you got to ask me who all can do that in the driveway with 4 jack stand. You can try it. You need a bubble level. I like to say it need to be absolutely level. And the temperature need to be exactly 120 degrees when you do it. Make an appointment. Make an appointment. But if you see Service B and you go get your oil change because you don't know Service B does all that and means all that, guess what? Service B will become your worst nightmare as a service technician. Because guess what you can't do? You can't take that light off that car. Your customer going to be mad at you. Can't get that light off that car. First of all, y'all probably ain't got the right computer. If you do get the light off the car, you got to lie to the car. And you got to lie to the customer like that service have been done because there's a questionnaire inside the computer. Man, these cars too smart. There is a questionnaire inside of the computer system as you perform these particular services on the car. It's going to ask you, did you use this particular oil or this particular oil? Did you put this particular temperature or did you do this particular temperature? Did you do European spec or is this American spec? It's going to ask you quite a few questions as you go through that to see if you did it or not. But it's because the car is going to reset some parameters and you're going to do a learn procedure on that transmission if need be. But if you clear that and get rid of that light for that customer, and you ain't no certified Mercedes technician or you don't know what I know, and you ain't got the facility to do it, then you just lie to the customer like they just got a transmission flush and everything. You lied to the computer of the car and you made all them service intervals start over and be wrong now. And you setting the customer up to burn their transmission up by not changing the fluid on time. Stop playing with people. Stop playing with people. Because there's some people that's empowered with the knowledge I just gave them will slap piss at you. I'm just about their money. Hey, everybody ain't sweet. Everybody, I'm pushing peace. Everybody ain't pushing peace. Not about their money. That's why I take time to do these videos and stuff. Cause it be a whole lot of confusion going on at these dealerships sometimes when people be coming up here. And it partially the customer fault, but it's a lack of knowledge. And that lack of knowledge gonna kill us all. So I can't just absolve the customer of all the knowledge because you know what you were buying and you know where you pulled up at. You know them signs on that building didn't look like none of them signs on the front of your car. None of that shit on the side of that building you took up there. But yeah, let this be one of them educational videos that hopefully help some people that own these vehicles and some places that work on these vehicles, man. Stop looking at the sheet at the capacity on these foreign cars. Them BMW, they ain't gonna tolerate it. They not. They do it to a man. Do it to a V8. Do that to a V8 BMW engine 4.0 or a 4.4 and run it for about a week. You gonna buy a motor. It gonna push the seals out the turbo and it gonna mess up the valve stem seal. They gonna tell you it need valve stem seal because that's the biggest known recall. The turbo's gonna be gone too, but it's mostly gonna be the turbo because the oil level was so high it was backing up the return line on the turbos and pushing the oil straight into the hot exhaust. That's why your first thing happened before you figure out you need a motor, the light will come on and tell you need some catalytic converter because you done dumped so much oil through the catalytic converter, you done messed the catalyst up and it ain't effective no more. And it'll say a catalyst efficiency fault. That's going to be your first indication. Also, if you got misfires, your car ain't running right, check engine light on, and it don't say catalytic converter, whatever you got going on, you need to go and get that fixed for real, because them catalytic converter cost a lot of damn money, y'all. I'm not playing. And what? They cats. People call them cats. Catalytic converter. I call them cats because they got 9 lives. They really don't die. They be often killed. Catalytic converter be on a car as long as it's a car. If you keep the motor right and you're not running oil vapor through there, you ain't running coolant vapor through there, nothing that ain't supposed to get burnt besides gas going out the exhaust, those converters will stay on this car a lifetime. They truly will. Yep. Misfires and stuff, that's what break a converter up. Oil staining and stuff what make the efficiency go down. But misfires is what breaks the converter and busts up the media inside of it and clogs the converter. Misfire. Because actually explosions happening in the exhaust when they ain't supposed to be. And you got raw fuel that from those misfires going straight into the exhaust. As soon as it hits that catalytic converter, it bursts into flame. Anyway, that was a good video. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Hopefully I said something that might educate you a little bit. If you got a foreign vehicle, man, hey, 662-897-4881. We make house calls. I pull up, and it's by appointment only. Like I said, text me. 662-897-4881. You get in the messenger. I don't be deep in the messenger like I supposed to be, but I will. And y'all get at me, man. Crystal clear. And the choice is crystal clear. Peace out. Y'all have a good day and be productive. Be productive. I'm here to do some more work. I got another Mercedes to pull up on and a L150. About 250-mile round trip today. We're going to have a good day. Y'all be blessed, man. And one thing about it, in life, the only competition you got is yourself. The only limitation you have is those you place upon yourself. And people can't treat you no worse than you let them. Don't never forget that.